This is another reading of Lord Mayher. We're at page 3420. The year is 1953. Chapter title is still Dehradun, 1953. Baba then addressed the others. My discourses, Vedanta, Upanishads, and all religious literature have no value. It is literally explanations of the unexplainable. That which cannot be understood cannot be explained. So I call all these a mere gupa, meaning idle chat, chit chat. The necessity is for the experience. Then all the messages and doubts disappear forever. Then we know that we were always infinite. We are infinite and we will remain infinite. Baba, what should I do to realize God? Dadi Mehta asked. God is perfect honesty, and in our efforts to realize Him, perfect honesty is required. To realize Him, we should be honest in everything, in what we speak, in what we do, and in what we think. Trilok Singh and Sahaj Singh were the nephews of Daulat Singh. They said, Baba, we are returning to Africa, where Trilok lived. We would like your blessing. Baba chuckled, dictating, You and all others should bless me so that I may immediately break my silence. The real blessing is within you. Don't worry about anything. To all, Baba observed, the worst thing lying in our path is hypocrisy. We are all hypocrites to one degree or another. But the slightest hypocrisy means no God. We cannot fool one who knows everything. At 2:40 p.m., Baba suddenly got up and, leaving the house, took his seat in the car to return to Dehradun. The group was surprised, since they wanted to give him a proper send-off. Helan got behind the wheel, and the car drove off. The lovers stared at it in silence. Baba returned to Dehradun the same night via Meerut. Preparations began for Baba's departure from Dehradun. He had decided to shift to Mahabaleshwar, and Vishnu had been sent in advance to arrange living accommodations for Baba and the women and men Mandali. The Aga Khan bungalow, where they had stayed in October 1950, had been rented. Before leaving Dehradun, Baba called the sweeper boy, Isa, and asked, Are you coming with me to Mahabaleshwar? My parents want me to get married, Isa said. Just tell me whether you want to come with me or get married, Baba repeated. According to my parents' wishes, I will marry and then retire into a forest and sing your bhajans, Isa declared. Baba had a good laugh at this and advised, After marriage, don't go off to the forest, but come to me. Will you come? Yes, I will come. My parents' wish will be fulfilled, and also yours. Laughing heartily, Baba embraced him. It had been 9 months since Meher Baba set up headquarters in Dehradun. Baba left Dehradun with the men and women Mandali at noon on Sunday, 29 November 1953. Peter the Cocker Spaniel and Sheba the Colt were also taken to Mahabaleshwar, as were the two Nepalese boys, Kirpal and Kushal, who used to cook for the Mandali in Dehradun. Most of Baba's lovers wanted to see him off at the train station, but he did not allow it and permitted only Kishan Singh, Prakashwadi, Keki Nalavala, and his family, Kumar's family, Bal Kisan, Meher Kanta, Virendra, and Alka Pandey. Virinder Singh, Mohini Rani, and Sharpat Singh, Helan, Harichand Kochar, and Elcha Mistry. Well, that was quite a pack of people. The departure was painful for them, but such pain is born out of good fortune. The Dune Express began moving out of the station, and the lovers silently hailed Baba with weeping eyes. Not a sound escaped their lips. Baba stood in the doorway of his compartment, gesturing for them to be brave. Be brave. Baba's hand on some fortunate person's head, blessing a devotee from the train, Dehradun, 1953. Oh, this might actually be a picture of what was just described. Baba and the group arrived in Bombay, and from there, he and the women traveled to Mahabaleshwar by Nariman's car, arriving late in the afternoon on 1 December 1953. The next day, Baba drove back to Pune with Erich, Pendu, Baidul, and Kumar, where he had lunch at Bindra House. There he met Gai Mai, Manu, Meherwan, and Papa Jesawala. As per his instructions, Adi Sr. and Nusirwan were waiting to meet him. Later, Baba visited his brothers, Jalbai and Bahram, or Beharam, at Baba House. With Jalbai accompanying the group, Baba left the same day for Bombay, where he stayed with Nariman and Arnavaz at Ashiana. Kumar returned to Dehradun the following day. Baba's main purpose was to contact musts in Bombay, but he also permitted a one-day darshan program. At Ashiana, all his old-time and close lovers came to see him, including one new contact, Jal Dastur. After meeting Baba for the first time, he was convinced that the whole world lay at his feet, and he repented for his mistake in not accompanying his wife Dolly to see Baba the year before. While Baba was in Bombay, Anna 104 died in Sholapur on 4 December at the age of 64. He had been Baba's disciple since 1925 and had been with Baba for many years in Mehrabad, as well as in the New Life. Keeping watch at night. Okay, we're rolling.
Another early disciple, Abdullah Harun Jaffer, had died 2 weeks before in Nasik On 23 November 1953. Oh, color picture of Baba and Mara.
I think this was digitally enhanced.
Enhanced. What?
Uh,
Yeah, very likely.
yeah. Uh, but, most of the enhancements don't make Baba's eyes dark enough for at least compared to the black and white photographs anyway.
Mm.
I think he had very dark eyes. People said that,
After completing his must work in Bombay in 6 days, Baba returned to Mahabaleshwar on Sunday, December 6, 1953, where extensive preparations were begun for his darshan tours to Hamapur and Andhra Pradesh. For the next 3 weeks, an abundance of correspondence and telegrams were exchanged. At both Hamapur and Andhra, people were engrossed in making arrangements to accord Baba a hearty and fitting reception. Prior to Baba's visit on 25 December, a public meeting was held in the town hall in Kakinada to publicize the upcoming darshan, for which Baba sent the following telegram. My message to you all for 25th December. Let love annihilate your lower self and reveal my infinite self. Let your ears become deaf to delusion to enable you to hear my silent message of divine love. Let your eyes become blind to illusion to receive me as I am. Let your heart open to receive me in full. This is my message today to you all with my blessings. Adi Sr. was called to Mahabaleshwar on the 10th and gave instructions for Godavari Mai at Sakori. Oh, and given instructions for Godavari Mai at Sakori. Meherji brought Minu Pohawala and Minu Karas around the 18th. Meanwhile, Baba's health was suffering, and the Mandali insisted he take some treatment. They were particularly anxious since he was to leave shortly to give mass darshan, a physically demanding task, even when Baba was in the best of health. Sohail, Don, Nilu, Erich, and Pendu prevailed upon Baba to return to Bombay for medical treatment, to which Baba agreed on one condition. I am ready to go on condition that from the day I begin taking treatment, you all remain beside me, awake without a wink of sleep. The Mandali readily agreed, but Erich and Pendu stipulated. Our prayer is that you let the doctor treat you as he wants and not hesitate to follow his treatment. Baba consented, and Naraman and Meherji were instructed to arrange a separate residence in a quiet and peaceful neighborhood of Bombay. At this time, Dake came to Mahabaleshwar from Ahmednagar. Baba had practically stopped eating, and Gohar told Dake, urge Baba to eat something. Maybe he will listen to you. Dake beseeched Baba, who replied, were I to take even butter now, it would feel like a stone in my stomach. I have some special work to do just now, during which it is not advisable to partake of any food. That is why I have stopped eating. All the arrangements were made, and on 31st December, Baba left for Bombay, accompanied by Erich, Pendu, Gustaji, and Nilu. Shagan and Sidhu met them in Bombay as instructed. Except for Naraman and Meherji, no outsider was permitted to come to the rented two-story house near Versova Beach, and none were informed of Baba's whereabouts. The Mandali kept awake, night and day in his service, and Baba behaved like an ordinary patient, diligently following the doctor's advice. But Baba's complaints soon multiplied, and he began asking for any and every medicine. Arichan Penda reminded him, "You are a patient and have to act according to what the doctor says. We have brought you to Bombay as a patient, and we will only follow the doctor's instructions." Baba would experience terrible body aches at this time. Each night at about 1 a.m., he would ask the Mandali to strike his body with their fists to relieve the pain, which was no doubt a result of his universal work. Thus, for 3 days and nights, the Mandali remained awake. Since coming to Bombay, it seemed as if Baba had grown weaker and weaker. He was unable to sit up and could only do so with the Mandali's help. He had stated something serious would happen to his body in December, and his predictions seemed to be coming true. But on the fourth day, amazingly, he abruptly sat up and looked as if he had fully recovered. With his usual animation, he asked the Mandali, "What do you take me for?" "As God," they replied. Thereupon he observed, "And knowing that I am God, you still deal with me as an ordinary man. If I am God, I know everything, and it is your duty to do as I tell you. Even if I ask you for poison, without the least hesitation, you should give it to me. Am I an ordinary patient? Could any doctor ever diagnose my real illness? If you think like that, your staying with me is of no use." Baba scolded them with such force that none of them could utter a word. And so on Monday, 4th January 1954, they packed their bags and returned with Baba to Mahabaleshwar. In Mahabaleshwar, the Mandali would trudge 2 miles daily to Shastrabudi's guest house for their lunch. Only Gustaji and Kaikobat's food was sent to the bungalow. Nadja would cook for Baba and the women Mandali in the bungalow itself. Baba started giving 2 hours of night watch duty to Bao in Mahabaleshwar. Krishna would be on watch from 9 p.m. to 4 a.m. and Bao from 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. At 6 o'clock, Rana would come for half an hour. At the time, those on duty had to sit outside Baba's room and be alert and watchful. Only when Baba clapped did they enter his room. When their duty was over, they were to lock Baba's room from outside and then leave, handing the key to their replacement. One night, Krishna locked Baba's room and forgot to tell Bao where he had put the key. Shortly, Baba clapped, and Bao frantically searched for the key. There was a window which Bao pushed open and looked inside. Baba gestured for him to come in, but Bao replied, "The room is locked." Baba again signaled, indicating that he should open the door and come in at once, because Baba wanted to urinate. Bao replied that he could not find the key, and Baba gestured that he was quite useless and that he was to sit back down. Baba got up, took the pan to pass urine. Due to these frantic, tense moments, Bao was perspiring, even in the winter cold. This episode did not end here. Krishna had told Bao that he should tell Rano that Baba wanted to be awakened between 6:30 and 7 a.m. When Rano came, Bao gave her the information, but she counter-questioned, "Am I to wake him at 6:30 or 7?" Puzzled, Bao hesitated, then replied, "At 7." When Baba came to the Mandali's quarters at 8, he teased Bao. "I failed to comprehend how you passed your MA. You have no sense at all." He then informed the others what had happened during the night, and the other men had a good laugh. After Baba returned to Mahabaleshwar, he called Kishan Singh and Kumar from Dehradun. They arrived on the evening of 25 January. For the tour, Baba dictated the message, "Existence is substance and life is shadow." And here's the message. Existence is eternal, whereas life is perishable. Comparatively, existence is what the body is to man, and life is as the cloth that covers the body. The same body changes clothes according to the seasons, time, and circumstances, just as the one and eternal existence is always there throughout the countless and varied aspects of life. Shrouded beyond recognition by the cloak of life, with its multifarious folds and colors, is existence unchangeable. It is the garb of life, with its veils of mind, energy, and gross forms, that shadows and superimposes on existence, presenting the eternal, indivisible, and unchangeable existence as transient, varied, and ever changing. Existence is all pervading and is the undying, underlying. Oh boy, I somehow lost my page. 1 second. Here we go. It should be it. Okay. Existence is all pervading and is the underlying essence of all things, whether animate or inanimate, real or unreal, varied in species or uniform in forms, collective or individual, abstract or substantial. In the eternity of existence, there is no time, there is no past, and no future, only the everlasting present. In eternity, nothing has happened, and nothing will ever happen. Everything is happening in the unending now. Existence is God, whereas life is illusion. Existence is reality, whereas life is imagination. Existence is everlasting, whereas life is ephemeral. Existence is unchangeable, whereas life is ever changing. Existence is freedom, whereas life is a binding. Existence is indivisible, whereas life is multiple. Existence is imperceptible, whereas life is deceptive. Existence is independent, whereas life is dependent on mind, energy, and gross forms. Existence is, whereas life appears to be. Existence, therefore, is not life. Birth and death do not mark the beginning or end of life, whereas the numerous stages and states of life, which constitute the so called births and deaths, are governed by the laws of evolution and reincarnation. Life comes into being only once, with the advent of the first dim rays of limited consciousness, and succumbs to death only once, on attaining the unlimited consciousness of infinite existence. Existence, all knowing, all powerful, all present God, is beyond cause and effect, beyond time and space, beyond all actions. Existence touches all shadows, and all things. Nothing can ever touch existence. Even the very fact of its being does not touch existence. To realize existence, life must be shed. It is life that endows limitations to the unlimited self. Life of the limited self is sustained by the mind, creating impressions, by energy supplying the impetus to accumulate and dissipate these impressions through expressions, and by gross forms and bodies, functioning as the instruments through which these impressions are spent, reinforced, and eventually exhausted through actions. Life is thickly linked with actions. Life is lived through actions. Life is valued through actions. Life's survival depends on actions. Life cognizant is actions. Actions opposite in nature. Actions affirmative and negative. Actions constructive and destructive. Therefore, to let life succumb to its ultimate death is to let all actions end when actions end. When actions end completely, life of the limited self spontaneously experiences itself as existence of the unlimited self. Existence being realized, evolution and involution of consciousness is complete. Illusion vanishes, and the law of reincarnation no longer binds. Simply to desist from committing actions will never put an end to actions. It would merely mean putting into action yet another action, that of inactivity. To escape from actions is not the remedy for the uprooting of actions. Rather, this would give scope to the limited self to get more involved in the very act of escaping, thus creating more actions. Actions, both good and bad, are like knots in the tangled thread of life. The more persistent the efforts to undo the knots of action, the firmer become the knots and the greater the entanglement. Only actions can nullify actions in the same way that poison can counteract the effects of poison. A deeply embedded thorn may be extricated by the use of another thorn or any sharp object resembling it, such as a needle, used with skill and precaution. Similarly, actions are totally uprooted by other actions when they are committed by some activating agent other than the self. Karma Yoga, Vinayan Yoga, Raj Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga serve the purpose of being prominent signposts on the path of truth, directing the seeker toward the goal of eternal existence. But the hold of life, fed by actions, is so tight on the aspirant that even with the help of these inspiring signposts, he fails to be guided in the right direction. As long as the quote self unquote is bound by actions, the aspirant or even the pilgrim on the path toward truth is sure to go astray through self-deception. Throughout all ages, sadhus and seekers, sages and saints, munis and monks, tapasvis and sannyasis, yogis, sufis, and talibs have struggled during their lifetimes, undergoing untold hardships in their effort to extricate themselves from the maze of actions and to realize the eternal existence by overcoming life. And Gene, take the Talibs are a group of seekers in Arabia. They fail in their attempts because the more they struggle with their self, little self, the firmer the self becomes gripped by life through actions intensified by austerities and penances, by seclusions and pilgrimages, by meditation and concentration, by assertive utterances and silent contemplation, by intense activity and inactivity, by silence and verbosity, by japa, repetitions, and tapas, penances, and by all types of yogas and chilas, or discipleships. Emancipation from the grip of life and freedom from the labyrinths of actions is made possible for all and attained by a few when a perfect master, Sadguru or Kutub, is approached and his grace and guidance are invoked. The perfect master's invariable counsel is complete surrender to him. Those few who do surrender their all, mind, body, possessions, so that their complete surrender, so that with their complete surrender, they also surrender consciously their own self to the perfect master, have their very being left consciousness to commit actions, but activated now only by the dictates of the master. Such actions, after the surrender of one's self, are no longer one's own actions. Therefore, these actions are capable of uprooting all other actions which feed and sustain life. Life then becomes gradually lifeless and eventually succumbs, by the grace of the perfect master, to its final death. Life, which once debarred the preserving aspirant from realizing.
Persevering.
Excuse me?
The persevering aspirant.
Thanks. Which once debarred the persevering aspirant from realizing perpetual existence, can now no longer work its own deception. I have emphasized in the past, I tell you now, and I shall age after age, forevermore, repeat that you should shed your cloak of life and realize existence, which is eternally yours. To realize this truth of unchangeable, indivisible, all-pervading existence, the simplest way is to surrender to me completely, so completely that you are not even conscious of your surrender, but conscious only to obey me and to act as and when I order you. If you seek to live perpetually, then crave for the death of your deceptive self at the hands of complete surrender to me. This yoga is the essence of all yogas in one.
Go ahead, Pia.
Okay, Jai
Oh,
Baba.
except I've got a scroll for you, don't I? There we
Jai
go.
Baba. Baba had dictated a portion of God Speaks to Erech in Dehradun and in Mahabaleshwar. I just give me a moment. I'm just trying to extend the screen so that I'm not seeing the whole thing. Yes, that's better. Yeah. I'll start again. Baba had dictated a portion of God Speaks to Erech in Dehradun, and in Mahabaleshwar, he continued dictating more points which Erech would write down. At night, Erech expanded the points into sentences, and the next day they were read out to Baba, who would make corrections. This would include the arduous repetition of the alphabet by Bhau, with Baba stopping him with a clap at each letter required to spell out a critical word necessary to the text. This work went on for several months. On 20th January 1954, Baba dictated this short poem. If understood, life is merely a jest. If misunderstood, life becomes a pest. If overcome, life is at rest. For pilgrims on the path, life is a test. When annihilated through love, life is at its best. Baba called Adi Senior and Padri to Mahabaleshwar and discussed certain work with them. Baba's brothers Jalbai, Behram, and Adi Jr. were called also for the individual interviews and advice. Baba was to leave for Hamirpur on the 1st of February. He warned the Mandali accompanying him. Take me to Hamirpur as you would a flower, and bring me back the same way. Remember this well. It is a warning to you. Yeah. Okay. This was in reference to Baba's health, which was still not good. He complained of aches all over his body and he had not slept properly for weeks. At the end of the month, he remarked, January has been a living death for me. I will die in January, but will rise again in February. Keshav Nigam was told to convene a workers' meeting in Hamirpur. Regarding that meeting, Baba remarked to Bhau, I will make you the leader of those committing spiritual suicide. Just accompany me to Hamirpur and you will see. Bhau could not fathom this remark and neither could any of the other Mandali. Footnote.
Do you see it, Pia?
No.
Okay, I'll read it. That sometimes happens. Later, when Baba put Bao in charge of correspondence for the entire district of Hamirpur, Bao realized it meant he was to be a medium for Baba's work there. End of note.
Yeah, but can you close it because I can't read otherwise?
Oh, I just closed it.
No, but it's still showing.
Oh, how strange.
Marvin, is it showing for you? Yeah, it's gone.
Oh, good.
Pendu was, as usual, the controller of the journey with overall responsibility for travel arrangements. Kumar was to act as the commander-in-chief. Sadashiv Patil came from Pune and was to coordinate arrangements for their meals. Baba nicknamed him Ma Bap, mother, father. One approached with an entreaty respectfully with folded hands. Just read this again. Baba nicknamed him Ma Bap, which is mother and father. One approached with an entreaty respectfully with folded hands. Others included Nariman, Meherji, Jalbai, Chagan, Sidhu, Dhake, Nana Kher, Ramju, Gadekar, Pankhraj, and Helan were to accompany Baba and the Mandali to Hamirpur. Harjeevan Lal was to go direct from Delhi and Brahmadat from Dehradun. Baba stated that during the tour, two of his men should always be with him, namely Erich and Meherji. Jalbai was to read the board in case of Erich's absence. Shagan and Sidhu were to attend to his
Pia, we've lost your audio, I think.
No. I needed you to move the screen because I couldn't
Oh,
see.
okay. Okay, thanks.
Okay. Others including Nariman Meherji, Jalbai, Chagan, Sidhu, Dhake, Nana Kher, Ramju, Gadekar, Pankhraj and Helen were to accompany Baba and the Mandali to Hamirpur. Harjeevan Lal was to go direct from Delhi and Brahmadat from Dehradun. Baba stated that during the tour, two of his men should always be with him, namely Erich and Meherji. I'm sorry, there's a noise in the background. Is it disturbing?
No, we don't hear it at all, Pia.
Okay, all right. Jalbai was to read the board in case of Erich's absence. Chagan and Sidhu were to attend to his comforts as personal attendants. Dake and Kumar were to escort Baba holding his umbrella while visiting places of darshan. Ramju was to maintain a diary compiled from notes kept by Kishan Singh. Seeing the avatar's activities, H was caught up in the excitement of pre-departure. Need to move it. Just hold on. Could you just move this? Can you scroll down?
Oh,
Okay, this is better. Seeing the avatar's activities, it was caught up in the excitement of pre-departure. It knew how naturally Baba was doing his universal work. It had seen how, becoming a seeker, the avatar lived his new life and annihilated the mind. At first, age had been puzzled as to how the universal mind of the avatar could be annihilated. But it realized that the avatar's universal mind is linked to every living and inert mind. And out of these infinite numbers, perhaps he selected some for Manonash. After his Manonashan seclusion, the avatar had set fire to different places in India, and to intensify it, he had summoned the winds of love to blow. Can you turn the page?
Yeah, I have. I guess there's a bit of delay before it goes to
Okay.
India.
All right. In order to just scroll down a bit. In order to further fan the blaze, the avatar, as the highest of the high, was about to revisit these places. Age cast its gaze on Hamirpur district in North India and Andhra Pradesh in the south to capture and record every moment of the activities of Lord Meher. Let us see what happened.
Oh, gee, I think this is the shortest page in Lord Mayher. Ooh, nice roses on Baba's chest. And that's in
I can't
Andhra,
see.
February 1954. Has the text gotten to India yet, Pia?
No. Somebody else like to read? Because I can't see the text. It says chapter 25, Mass Darshan in Hamirpur in Andhra. Yes, now I can see Baba. Oh, beautiful. It's a beautiful picture. Okay. This picture was in of Andhra, February 1954. Baba departed Mahabaleshwar for Hamirpur on Monday, 1st February 1954, with 9 of the men Mandali, Aloba, Baidul, Bhau, Erech, Gustaji, Kekobad, Kishan Singh, Kumar, and Pendu. Don, Krishna, Neelu, and Vishnu were left behind with the women Mandali. During this period, Mehra was caring for Shiba, whom she would lead to Baba's room in his absence to show the court that Baba was not there. Mani was doing, Mani was doing her correspondence with the West, her small portable typewriter always before her. Goher and Ranu managed the household affairs between them, and Naja did the cooking. Meru would keep busy assisting Mehra and doing various other chores. From Mahabaleshwar, Baba arrived in Pune in Nariman's Gaon, where he was joined by Jagan, Dhake, Gadekar, Jalbhai, Krishnaji, Ramju, Sadashiv, Savak, Sidhu, and Yashwant Rao. Nariman and Meherji also arrived from Bombay and joined the group at the railway station. The entire group, including Baba, traveled in third class from Pune. Coming from Nagpur, Nana Kher and Pankra joined them at Itarsi. Upon seeing him, Baba immediately asked Nana, "Have you brought food for me?" Caught off guard by the question, Nana replied, "No." Baba became upset and ordered him to get off the train. Nana was about to comply when Baba caught hold of him and said, "You ought to have had some thought for me. You know how much I like your mother's cooking and the chutney prepared by your sister-in-law, but you didn't bring anything? You are truly a simpleton." Nana laughed and apologized for coming empty-handed. During the journey, Jalbhai and Dhake kept Baba amused by telling jokes and funny stories and Kumar would also narrate outlandish tales. With humorous talk of jokes, Baba kept everyone's attention centered on him. Although the outside Baba lovers thoroughly enjoyed this time alone in Baba's company, the Mandali were never at ease because in front of all Baba would chide them, make fun of them, tease and taunt them. Ridicule and reproach filled their lives from the beginning of their discipleship. After a day and a half on the train, the group arrived at 3 a.m. on the 3rd in Orai, where Keshav, Pukar, Helan, Brahmadat, and few other close ones had come to receive them. Baba stayed in the residence of Raja Raghurat Singh, where he discussed matters first with the Hamirpur workers. Okay. You need to take it towards the right. Yeah. Keshav had been working strenuously to make Baba's name and message known in all villages of the district prior to his arrival, and people were eager to have his darshan. The Raghurat Singh and his family were meeting Baba for the first time. Although he was descended from a royal family, he was leading a simple life. Inwardly, too, he was a simple, guileless man, despite his high social status. He had deep love for Meher Baba and thereafter proved to be a great help in the Avatar's cause. After Baba and the group had rested for a few hours, darshan started early that morning and Baba handing prasad to hundreds. At 6 a.m., this message, the language of the heart, was delivered to the crowd at Orai. Scroll down.
Yeah, it's getting there to India.
God does not listen to the language of the tongue or of the mind, but he responds to the language of the heart. The language of the heart is the song of love for the beloved. When the heart weeps for the beloved's union, and the mind suffers the pangs of separation, then the beloved's response is the final embrace into oneness. This means to love God, one has to keep him present and never be absent from him. This means while doing his duties, doing all deeds, while thinking all thoughts and speaking all words, we have always to have his remembrance, remembering him as the background to everyone and everything. This means in every little thing, good or bad both, we should remember him, and then all responsibility rests with him. Next.
Beautiful.
Baba was to leave Orai that morning for the village of Ichhora, 15 miles away. No car, bus, or truck had ever ventured to this remote place because there was only a narrow dirt road leading to it. The road was bisected by the Betwa River, and being unpaved, it had become even more impassable due to recent rain. Nevertheless, the local Lagbas were determined that the Lord of creation should visit them in some degree of comfort. And so, for weeks before his arrival, they toiled earnestly to widen 8 miles of road, fill in the pits with earth, and smooth its rough patches so that Baba's car could travel over it. Baba's heart was full at the expression of their love, and because of that, he set out for their village. Keshav, however, had failed to arrange for a car, and so Baba and the men scroll down.
It's getting there, Pia.
Okay. Keshav, however, had failed to arrange for a car, and so Baba and the men had to proceed to Ichora in a bus. After crossing a bridge 7 miles from Orai, the bus took a turn to the left to go by the canal road, and its left wheel hit something and came to a sudden stop.
Hmm. Okay, we're rolling, Marcia.
34, 32.
Oh, you muted yourself, Marcia.
Okay, let me take this. Let me go sit down and read this so I know I'm bending over.
Oh,
I'll have a backache.
okay.
Just 1 second.
Take your time. I paused the recording till
Oh,
you're
good. Let me just, I got everything ready. I'm going to pour.
okay. We're rolling. Go ahead.
Okay. 34, 32. Mass Darshans in Hamipur and Andhra, 1954. The driver tried to restart it. Kishan Singh, sitting on the right side, casually leaned out the window to have a look, and at once he cried out to the driver to stop. The driver got out and saw that his right wheel was inches away from going off the road into the deep canal. Everyone got out, including Baba, who simply smiled at their narrow escape. The truck would certainly have overturned had it gone forward just a little. In gratitude for Baba's inner help, the Hamapur workers riding in the vehicle burst out in acclamations of Avatar Mayor Baba Ki Jai, and their faith in him was strengthened. The group was ferried over the Betwa River and then to travel further into the interior. They had to ride bullock carts. The villagers had come a mile ahead to receive Baba and were chanting in jubilation, Hari Baba, Meher Baba, Hari Hari. While crossing the river, Baba dipped his hands and toes into the water and observed, the Lord of the universe is here with his near and dear ones while the masses are crowding together at Allahabad. At the time, none knew the significance of Baba's words. That very day in Allahabad, during the Kumbh Mela then taking place, an enormous tragedy occurred. It was the main bathing day, and about 2 million people had gathered to bathe at the confluence of the Ganga and Yamuna rivers around 9 a.m. There was a great rush to witness a procession of sadhus and holy men. Panic and a stampede ensued. Thousands of persons were injured, and about 800 were crushed to death or drowned. The incident occurred at the same time that Baba's truck had come to a mysterious halt. Baba got down from the bullock cart, and Prabhu Daya Nigam and Chatur Bhuj Lumberdar garlanded him. He was taken to Aishura in a procession of 30 to 40 bullock carts. His cart led the way with a cloth canopy overhead to protect him from the sun, and they reached the village at about 10:30 a.m. Every house and lane of the remote spot was sanctified by Baba's arrival. The villagers had made suitable arrangements. 34-33, Mass Darshans in Hamapur and Andhra, 1954. The Mandalay and those traveling with Baba were accommodated in the village school, while Baba stayed in a separate house. Erich, Sidhu, Shah Agan, and Meherji stayed with him and Kunj Bihari of Jarakhar kept guard at a distance to ensure that Baba was not disturbed. It is beyond words to describe the love displayed by the Hamapur lovers. Those mostly illiterate and poor people's hearts were speaking, and they recognized Meher Baba through the language of the heart. Those having the good fortune to be with Baba at the time were drenched. It was love and love alone everywhere. As mentioned, the fire of awakening had already been set several months before. Winds of Baba's presence now fanned the sparks into a wildfire. To receive Baba, his land and its people were ready with an open heart, and there was no talk except of Meher Baba. The villagers of Ichwara, men, women, and children of all ages, were wonderfully merry. It seemed to age as if, after years of darkness, the sun had risen in their lives. I feel happy to be among you today, Baba remarked to them at 5:15 p.m. Love me wholeheartedly, and you will always find me with you and see me, because I ever live in you all. That evening, Baba walked alone for some time into a part of a forest near Ichwara. Afterwards, he issued an order that night, not only his Mandalay, but all his lovers in Ichwara should observe complete silence, as he wished to do some special inner work. The order was carried out to Baba's satisfaction. Early the next morning at 4 a.m., Baba sanctified the Betwa River by bathing with its water. He also drank some of the water. Baba gave darshan at Ishwara on the 4th, and thousands had the gift of his prasad as people from neighboring villages also came for the occasion. Baba made house visits to the homes of Chaturbhuj, Bhagwandas, Rathore, and Ramsaya Singh Baghel. Before leaving Mahabaleshwar, Baba had dictated 12 messages for the public, which were sent to Hamapur and Andhra to be translated into Hindi and Telugu. While dictating the following message called Love, the Fire of Pure Love, this is my main message.
Whoops, yeah, you skipped a line.
The mess of this age will be dissolved by the fire of pure love. This is my main message. Love, as is generally and commonly understood, is but an attachment with selfish thoughts and motives involved.
Maybe read from here again.
While dictating the following message called Love Unadulterated, he had remarked, the mess of this age will be dissolved by the fire of pure love. This is my main message. Love, as it is generally and commonly understood, is but an attachment with selfish thoughts and motives involved. Do you want me to continue?
Yes, please. Take another
34
page.
Excuse me. 3434, Mass Darshans in Hamapur and Andhra, 1954. Pure, real, unadulterated love has in it not even a tinge of lust. Lust for sex, lust for power, lust for name, lust for fame, lust for self-comforts defile the purity of love. Pure, real love has also its stages, the highest being the gift of God to love him. When one truly loves God, one longs for union with him, and this supreme longing is based on the desire of giving up one's whole being to the beloved. When one loves a perfect master, one longs to serve him, to surrender to his will, to obey him wholeheartedly. Thus, pure, real love longs to give and does not ask for anything in return. Even when one truly loves humanity, one longs to give one's all for its happiness. When one truly loves one's country, there is the longing to sacrifice one's very life without seeking reward and without the least thought of having loved and served. When one truly loves one's friends, there is a longing to help them without making them feel under the least obligation. When truly loving one's enemies, one longs to make them friends. True love for one's parents or family makes one long to give them every comfort at the cost of one's own. Thought of self is always absent in the different acts of loving, connected with the various stages of pure, real love. A single thought of self will be love unadulterated.
A single thought of self would be love
Oh, I'm sorry. A
adulterated.
single thought of self would be love adulterated. There were many bare trees in Ichwara, so many that the sour cherry-sized fruit had no saleable value. Gustaji, who especially liked the fruit, started plucking a few of the bears from a tree. Seeing him, the others... Wait,
Let's just read the side note before we go on.
okay,
The
Lord
tree-
Mayor, Baba, page 34, footnote. The trees are called Bor in Marathi. Marathi?
Thank you.
Okay, hold on. Gustaji, who especially liked the fruit, started plucking a few of the bears from a tree. Seeing him, the others who had come with Baba also began picking them. Baba saw them from a distance. He sent for them and reprimanded them severely. The owner of the piece of land was called, and Baba conveyed to him, "Please forgive me. My men have, without your consent, plucked fruit from your trees. For this offense on their part, I ask your pardon. As they have come with me, I am responsible for them." The man replied that there was no question of consent. He was honored they had enjoyed the fruit. Baba persisted. "You own the trees, and although they may not have much value to you, honesty demands that your permission should have been taken first. An offense is committed, so please excuse us." The man was visibly stunned when Baba then sought his pardon by laying his head on his feet.
Thank you. Thank you, Marcia.
Thank you.
We'll stop here and pick up next.